This is getting crazy. The rivalry between the Dodgers and Padres continues to heat up after yesterday's game at Dodger Stadium. I'm here to tell you exactly why that is in this edition of Dodgers Digest. Hey, it's Mike Nelson. Hopefully everybody's having a great day today, celebrating that Dodgers win yesterday, another comeback win against the Padres at Dodger Stadium. It was an absolutely electric atmosphere yesterday with Shohei Ohtani's first game as a pitcher with the Dodgers. We're going to get a bit more into that coming up here on this episode, but right now let's talk a little bit about Andy Pakis, who had, of course, a bit of a issue with the Padres starting pitcher Dylan Cease. Of course, Pajes was hit by a pitch from Dylan Cease, and he had some interesting comments to say after the game last night. He was watching the game on TV yesterday. You could see that Andy Pajes was really pissed off by, getting hit by a fastball from Cease. And he even said that he thought it was intentional, right? He felt that Cease threw at him intentionally because, he added that he thought the Padres thought that he was trying to pick up the catcher's signs while residing on second base after a double in the previous inning. So he felt like, the Padres were kind of upset about that with Pakis, trying to steal signs from second base, which is, as we know, is part of baseball, right? I mean, when the guy's at second base, that just has happened for years, for decades. I mean, that's not something new. The Astros didn't start that. Of course, the Astros were going, above and beyond just stealing signs from second base. So that was something else. But the runner at second base stealing signs has been going on for many years when there's a runner at second base. And, and if teams don't take the necessary precautions, I mean, that's not really the fault of the Dodgers or the team that's doing that, right? I mean, it's just really not their problem, right? So in this case, it seems like the Padres were a bit pissed off by that. They were angry about potentially, Pajes stealing signs there. And, Cease came out and said, this is also another comment that Pajes made, which I thought was interesting. He said, I probably shouldn't have reacted like that, but he doesn't miss with the slider on the corner, but yet he can miss with the fastball, right? Talking about, Cease missing that pitch by a whole quadrant. And, of course, Cease came out, and this is, of course, a 98-mile-an-hour fastball that got Pajes on the left elbow guard. Very dangerous pitch. The Dodgers were leading by a run there with a runner at first base, 1 out. Count was 0-1 when this happened. Pajes, of course, stood in the batter's box, glared at Cease, and then even yelled something at him. The benches did not clear, but it was definitely a heated moment, to say the least, out there at Dodger Stadium. Dylan Cease said he didn't understand it. He said that he didn't do it on purpose. He said it's part of the game, but it's total bullshit, right? I mean, I really think Cease probably had something, against Pajes in that moment, right? I really think so. With an 0-1 count, with the runner first base, I mean, I really just don't think it was just a mistake, right? I mean, it seemed like Cease probably did this on purpose. I mean, the Padres really have it in it for us, right? And then, I don't know if you guys saw the comments, or there was some video that came out from another camera angle that I got a chance to see just a few hours ago when this moment happened, right? Mike Shildt, manager on the Padres, basically you could see him yelling at Mike Shildt, manager of the Padres. You could see him yelling at Andy Pajes, basically saying, who the fuck do you think you are, right? You could see him yelling that, mouthing it out, right? So definitely the Padres were incensed by, Pajes kind of going after him and kind of calling out Dylan Cease. But, I mean, I like it. I really like that Pajes, stood up for himself in that moment, because it was, I think it was intentional, right? I don't know what everybody thinks out there, but it did not seem like a mistake in that moment, right? I really don't think it was a mistake. Dylan Cease doesn't really, throw wild pitches. He's usually pretty much in control, but in that moment, you think about how the whole inning unraveled for the Padres after that. It's kind of crazy how the whole thing just came apart for San Diego after that moment, right? The whole thing just came apart because really I mean, the Dodgers kind of were, thinking about Ohtani starting this game, right? He only went 1 inning today, last night, right? And basically after that, the Dodgers went to their bullpen, right? So this was a big opportunity for the Padres to take advantage of the Dodgers last night, and they blew it. They once again blew it. I mean, I don't know how many times we have to come on here and talk about it, but the Padres have had their chances against the Dodgers. I mean, we cannot say the Dodgers have been comfortably winning these games or even comfortably in a position where you could say, right now they're comfortably in first place, right? 2.5 ahead of the Giants and 4 games ahead of the Padres, but it has not been easy at all. I mean, the Dodgers lead the league in comeback wins. They have had a lot of injuries, and they've had to go to the bullpen in many occasions, in many situations, and they've had to do it a few times this year already against the Padres, right? And the Dodgers have found a way to win those games anyway. So they are obviously in a position right now. The Padres know they're probably playing for their season this week. We talked about this last week. If the Dodgers already got 2 out of 3 last week in San Diego, if the Dodgers win this series again in LA with all the injuries that they have, it just really does not look good at all for San Diego. And that's why they were angry at last night. They were upset. Mike Schilt, basically throwing his frustration at Andy Pakis, basically making him seem like he's a less player than Cease and he has no right to say anything, which is obviously total, BS, total bullshit by Mike Schilt. But it doesn't surprise me, right? Because the Padres are a butthurt organization that obviously always wants to be the Dodgers. They're a team that is desperate. They're extremely desperate to be LA. They're desperate for relevancy. And they know that in a few years, they're going to be back to the way they used to be. Basically a team that nobody cares, that nobody gives a shit about, right? I mean, that's basically what the Padres are going to be very soon. So the Dodgers know they are the team here in LA that, they're the team in California that everybody knows. The other two, the Giants, the Padres, the Angels, the other 3 really are not relevant on a larger scheme like the Dodgers, right? So really, I'm not trying to sound biased here, but the Dodgers are the most important team right now when it comes to baseball in the world because we have the best player ever in Shohei Ohtani, who, had his first game yesterday as a pitcher. And like Eric Carroll was saying after the game last night, for those that were watching, you got to be interested to see how does Shohei Ohtani feel the next day because, sure, there was rust, the velocity was there. He looked great. At times had some, issues, a little bit wild, but he was able to pitch through the jam. We didn't get a lot to see of him, right? Only 28 pitches, but I'm on the same boat as Eric Carroll's here. I want to see how does Ohtani feel, the next day and the days after. How is he going to feel? I think that's the big question mark that everybody has to have for sure. How he feels with the way how his arm feels after pitching. But as always, make sure to subscribe, and let's go Dodgers. Woo!